Hey everybody, Superfluous Jay here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and today we're going to Dres in Drespollo, and Bill Top with his fancy mustache, and Merpond with her library glasses. They are going up to Dres, and they are Merpond is going to be landing in this lander can here. This fuel here is going to get her to the surface of Dres. These fuel here are going to get her back from the surface. This is just to get out of Kerbin's atmosphere. This is three-person can is how they're going to get there. They're spacious three-person capsule. All this fuel is going to get them to Dres, and I hate that when you right-click. All this is going to get them off the surface, and we do have some solids on the side of the first thing, and then we've got some asparagus staging that you'll see as we launch. This ship has gone through multiple iterations. It was not the easiest thing in the world to do, but what are you going to do? You got to do what you got to do, right? We are going to also... oh, that's right. Let me revert to VAB. I'm going to be back in 1 minute. Jeb's coming along. Why is Jeb coming along? Because he's going to hop out. And he is going to let go of this, which allows you to stand on the side of your ship, which is nice. He's going to then... yeah, he needs to get his... Okay, he's in this. He's going to jump when he can. And somehow he lived through that fall. And he's going to run over here, get off the launch pad. I don't have to take him very far away. I tested this before. And you can actually go pretty far. Come on, there we go. Before I was able to get off the thing, but I guess I can't. So we're gonna go the long way. Oh no, we're not. There we go. He's just gonna get slightly away from everything so he doesn't die, because I'd hate for him to die. And he's gonna do a surface sample. And actually, he's gonna do the surface sample and the crew observation here. We're gonna make sure we have these sciences here. There they are. And we could recover him, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go right back to the ship. And in 3, 2, 1, we are going to launch. And like before, it's a little slow off the pad. I fixed my sound, you'll notice. I'm still talking. This isn't me in post. Yeah, I just had the game sound way too up high in the thing. But this is a pretty boring launch, so I'm going to go into fast forward mode, and we're just going to watch it go. And I think I'm going to play some classic music while I do so. Well, that was less than ideal. Okay, I had to get Jeb back out into the signs again, so I made a quick save here, so we can revert back to this spot. I'm not making any changes to the ship, but I am going to go vertical until I drop these. It's got a little low on the thrust to weight anyway, so I hope that that'll be okay. Okay, even though we seem to be fine, we're very close to our apoapsis, so I'm raising my nose up here. Did not have to do this in my test launch, but you know, that's why you do test launches, to give yourself a false sense of esteem here. So that you don't think you have to do things like tilt up to 45 degrees when you're cruising along at 56 kilometers above the ground. Oh, there's the sunrise as we're drifting around the planet. Sorry about that sound. I have to monitor a phone that uses a cat saying hello as its text message sound. What are you gonna do? What you're gonna do is not click retrograde by accident when you want to click prograde. Just getting myself up to a nice 100 by 100 orbit, like I like to do. Okay, now we need to get ourselves into orbit here. Boom. Okay, we got a decent orbit, 102 by 100. I'm happy with that. And now it's all about getting to Dres. And Dres is not there. Dres is here. We're going to focus on that. Actually, we're going to set it as a target. I wish when you set this as a target, it gave you the ascending node and descending node. I want to focus on Drespollo. I wish it gave you the ascending node and descending node of your the orbit of the planet you're in orbit around, but it doesn't. So we're gonna eventually want to be doing a maneuver like this. I'm gonna be going interplanetary without using any tools. If you're curious about what I'm doing here, one thing is I don't like the tools that send you interplanetary to places like Dres and Moho and Elu, because they want you to go prograde at the right time to meet it, and I want to go prograde at the right time to be here. So here's the ascending node and the descending node. We want Kerbin to be here when this is time to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this maneuver node. I'm going to set this up so it's perfectly sideways. I'm going to delete this maneuver node. We are going to set, oh, that's curious. That's nice that it does that. We're going to now focus on Kerpollo, which screws this up, obviously. But we know we want to be roughly here. So I'm going to time warp up until we're there. Come on, a little bit farther. There we go. And now is when we're going to eject to Dres. So let's go back into map mode. We want to be somewhere around here. Create a maneuver node. Drag it on out. And now we're got a nice, right at the descending node here. Let's drag it on up to here. We obviously want to be a little bit farther forward in our orbit. Here's where the precise maneuver node controller comes in, because we want to just go a few seconds ahead of time. We want our Kerbal AP and our node to be at the same place, which it basically is now. Now Dres is going to be over here when we do this, but that's not a big deal. This is going to be a multi-orbit mission here. That's just the way it's going to work. So this is the burn we want to do. It's going to be a 2-minute and 12-second burn, which is a long time, but hey, that's what you get. So let's go ahead and aim at it. Aloha Eta, we are on our way to Dres. Also, if anybody can explain to me what this means, I would love to understand. In my experience, this 02 gets over here, right when this gets here. And it doesn't actually mean anything to the best of my knowledge. Like I would think that this would mean we're going to have to stage here, but we have plenty of fuel, so there's really no reason why we would ever stage here. And also, there's no reason why it should move, even if that were the case. So I'm very curious what this means. Is this a bug? Does it signify something that I just don't know what it would be? Or what? And it's not even reaching there, so I don't know. I don't know what this means. But anyway, we're almost there. We're getting our orbit up and done. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and stop this. And then now out here is where we need to figure out where Dres is going to be on each subsequent orbit. Okay, so this one, Dres is too far away if we don't burn. So what if we do burn? If we burn forward, that's bad. So we want Dres to be over here eventually. So do we have the option to go forward orbits in this maneuver node controller? Yes, we do. Sweet. So we can say go forward in orbit. And it's completely confused, I think, because we're not out in interplanetary space yet. So how about we get into interplanetary space? And then let's do a maneuver node now. Let's see, it was here. Now it's here. I think I want to go one more. Okay, now if I do one here, if it's past it again, I'm going to actually go ahead and, yeah, see, it's past it again, it's even farther. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give it a little bit of forward thrust here. Thrust. Get my orbit up to, say, Duna. Oh, this is also the first time we've ever been interstellar. or interplanetary. So we actually have some science to do. Might as well do that. I always forget the science, and that if anything kills me on this in this challenge, it'll be that I forget to get science somewhere. That's it. I'm going up. I don't know what they're actually saying, but that's what it sounds like to me. I suppose technically I'm risking a Duna encounter. Oh, I hit spacebar. There we go. Technically I'm risking a Duna encounter by doing this, but the chances are so low I'm not really that worried about it. And if it does come up, I can just burn here and burn up a little bit higher next time. Good enough. Let's go ahead and get out here a little bit farther. And then see what happens here. Our next encounter, he's going to be there. So let's... There we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. If we do this... Come on, let me back up. There we go. Don't want to go too far back. Because we want to plan this so that when we burn forward, we're going to get an encounter with Dres. And... that surprisingly should have done it. But we're a little bit north. Not a big deal. We can fix that. We can fix that when the time comes. Not sure Billtop and Merpond knew that they were going to be spending decades in orbit when they signed up for this mission. But it's the Kerbal way, we'll say. Okay. Don't really care about the timing, to be honest. So I'm going to delete this, and we're just going to do the burn manually. Maybe I'll just burn prograde, because that was what I would be doing. So I'm just going to crank it up here. Got my finger on the X, ready to cancel this burn the second it's close. We need to go a little bit farther. Basically want them stacked up together. Okay, now... out here, we're going to want to burn south just a skosh. Skosh, of course, being a technical term only used in Kerbal Space Center to denote the correct amount. Where is Dres right now? It's over here. Let's go ahead and focus on that. There's Dres, and here's our periapsis. Don't feel like fiddling with getting the maneuver node in the right place. I'm going to do these 0.5 meter per second at a time. Probably about right. Let's do prograde. No. Let's do retrograde. That's pretty good. This is already looking fantastic. I'm going to cut it down to even farther. I'm going to bring ourselves back north. And retrograde, I guess. What does radial do? Not very much. I don't think we can get that close. I think this is fine for here. And then the rest of it we will do when we get even closer. Let's go ahead and aim at that and warp to it. And this far out, it really shouldn't matter to the second. I'm not even going to do the burn to the second. I'm gonna use the shift and the X keys. But I still want to start roughly. We'll say within 10 seconds. That seems fine. Okay, shift and X. Aloha Eta. A little surprised I'm not seeing the orbit match this, but oh, here it comes. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to touch it anymore. There's no way I'm going to get it any closer than that. So we're going to do one more correction here, closer to Dres. Make sure we're on the actual orbit line. There we go. Periapsis is right in the plane. I wouldn't mind coming in where this is, but I want to... There goes the thing. That's just one of those joys of life you have to deal with sometimes. Okay, this periapsis seems pretty good. I want to get a little bit of benefit from Omen. So yeah, our periapsis is pretty close to the equator. We're just going to come in here. We're going to slow down to the point where we're in orbit, and then we're going to deal with it then. So let's go ahead and aim at this maneuver node and warp to it. And like before, exactly when we do the burn isn't as big of a deal as getting it perfect. So I'm going to do Shift and X just to get close. And we'll say that's a little too close. So I'm going to back off. I guess it's a retrograde. It's going to burn us just a little bit retrograde just to get it off so we're not colliding with Dres. There we go. Periapsis of 15 kilometers seems totally reasonable to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves into orbit now. And that's... Oh, wait, we have to do that when we actually get into the sphere of influence. So we're going to hit F5 because I think I can say time warp to SOI change. I think that's a Kerbal Life Hacks mod. And it actually goes to right before the SOI change, which I guess is okay. It's better than, oops, it's better than nothing, but I would prefer it if it actually went to the SOI change. Now we can do a maneuver node to slow down into orbit. This is going to be a multi-minute burn. Minute and a half, I guess that's technically multi-minute. We're going to just get in the sphere of influence, though, because we want to use as much or as little fuel as possible to change our plane as we want. And we've already been in this mission for 15 years. I think they can wait. They can also do some science, so let's go ahead and get that done. And what does that change our periapsis to? 13 kilometers. I think we can make that better. I'm going to bring out the maneuver node controller just because I hate the control interface for the maneuver nodes. Let's actually make our time step half a second. If we do this a little bit earlier, that'll get our periapsis closer to the 15 that it already was. I'm just nailing it right on the actual periapsis. We're aimed blue, so we got to be directly above it. I just don't see it because it's so far away. Might be that tiny little thing there. That actually might be the ring around it for all I know. Let's go ahead and fast forward. Now that's definitely the planet. There's the ring. We're in the darkness. But what are you going to do? Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit more. Getting a good look at the planet. At least I am. Still haven't figured out the ambient light mod. Now this node I do have to hit pretty close to exact. So we're going to use the Z key here. Can also do our science. Might as well do that. Aloha Eta. And we're burning into a retrograde orbit. I actually might not fix the tilt. I might not fix the tilt because I don't want to land on these mountains that encircle the equator. So it might be a good idea to have an orbit that is slightly less equatorial. I've also can see the ring here. That's pretty cool. We're edge on. I think we're orbiting backwards. I think I did this wrong, but oh well. Hopefully that won't matter. 3, 2, 1. Cut the engines. Our periapsis should. That is nowhere near what our maneuver node said, which is very odd. Not sure what to think about that, but we're in orbit, which is the important thing. Let's go ahead and do one more burn now to get our orbit down to basically circular. There we go. I think 12 might be a little too short. I think I'm going to get my apoapsis down to maybe 20 even. And then we'll raise our periapsis. Actually, maybe we should raise our periapsis from out here. I don't think it matters. But yeah, as far as tilt is concerned, I think I'm going to leave the tilt the way it is. We're obviously going to land on the sunny side of the street, so we're not worried about that sort of thing. Not sure what that line is for. Randomness, probably. I'm going up. Now add our apoapsis. Gonna do one more just tiny little burn to raise our periapsis. Just so the orbiter doesn't vanish as we're doing the landing. That would really suck. Oh, and time warp is apparently locked at 3 times. Which is awesome. Okay. 20 by 18 is totally fine by me. Okay, time to get to the surface. Merpond, I believe, is already in the lander can. Somebody's in the lander can. That's the important thing. So this is the fuel that's going to get us down. Let's just make sure. Let's check the resource manager. As you do. Yeah, this is the 200. And it's the only one that doesn't have all of its fuel. We got the 2 baguettes and the FL100, FLT100 that all have full of fuel. So we need to undock here. And we are going to we're probably going to land, I think, up here. And it doesn't really matter where we land. I wouldn't mind landing in a crater or something, but frankly, I kind of want to, I would rather land somewhere safe. So let's go ahead and, are we controlling the correct ship? Yes, we are. Let's go ahead and plan to land somewhere in this white area. That seems totally reasonable to me. Maybe we'll bring it forward just a little bit to beyond this little black mark here. Darker area. Let's see what that is. Let's do a landing gear. Let's just get it down if we can. We cannot. So let's hit F5 and then F9. And that was crazy. Luckily, we didn't crash into the the vessel here. We also are in a landing orbit right now, which is awesome. Okay, we're gonna land now. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just land. We saved a little bit of fuel. We'll pretend. By doing this. So we're gonna come down there. I'm gonna bring it up to closer to here. But gotta stage the engine. We'll bring it up to about here-ish. So we're making sure we're in the sun. And then it's all about hitting F5 and just coming on down. Yeah, I want to land before this dark area. I'd like to land like right around here, I think. So we're going 325. We have 1432 total. But this one's draining first. We can verify that when we get to the ground. I'd love to land in like this crater or something, but not gonna do it. So I'm gonna slow down to say 200 meters per second. We got a pretty peppy engine, so I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, we're not gonna be landing in this crater, which is the important thing. Anywhere along here would be totally fine by me. So looks like we're going to be landing like right next to one of these craters, like this one here, I think. Hard to tell. But let's go down a little bit farther. When we're 5,000 meters off the ground, I'm going to go down to, say, 150. There we go. Just stair-stepping it down to make sure we don't screw something up. And the ship has solar panels on the top and the bottom, so it can never be out of the sun. The top ones obviously are more important right now because it's going to be landing on them with them facing up. I like this area to land on. I think it should be fine. When we get down to 2,000, I'll slow it down to say 100. There we go. We're below the mountains over here, which is pretty cool. Sun is very far away. Go down to 50. There we go. When we're 100 off, I'll slow down to, say, 20. Or 10. And just coast it down. And yeah, it was garbage. Seems like the first landing is always on a garbage slope. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I think, yeah, this is better. Okay, now let's check our resource manager. we still have fuel in this tank, which is what I wanted to make sure would happen. So we landed with enough fuel to get back up to the main ship is the important aspect of all of this. So we're pretty happy. And I think I'm going to leave it here. Let's go ahead and do our science. But next time we're going to, when I come back, we are going to get Merpond out, do the science, and then head these two crazy Kerbonauts home. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous Jay, and I will, as always, talk at you later.